Admiral Kyung-min stood on the bridge of Luna Base, watching the massive alien ships drop out of hyperspace. The enemy fleet was huge. Thousands of dark ships filled the space around Earth like angry insects. Each ship was 3 times bigger than anything humans had ever built. "Sir, we count over 5,000 enemy vessels," reported Commander Dong-ho from his station. His voice was calm, but Kyung-min could see the fear in his eyes. "They're not responding to any communication attempts." Kyung-min nodded slowly. He had known this day would come. The intelligence reports had been clear for months. The Vorthak Empire was expanding across the galaxy, crushing every world in their path. Earth was next on their list. "Captain Sora, what's the status of the evacuation fleets?" Kyung-min asked into his communicator. "Admiral, we have 150 ships ready to launch," came Sora's voice through the static. "We can carry about 2 million people, but there are 8 billion on Earth. We need more time." "Time is something we don't have," Kyung-min replied, watching as the alien ships began moving toward Earth. They moved like a dark cloud blocking out the stars. "Begin evacuation immediately. Take whoever you can." The first alien attack came without warning. Bright green energy beams shot from the Vorthak ships, striking Earth's orbital defense stations. The human defenses exploded in balls of fire and metal. In just 10 minutes, Earth's entire orbital defense grid was destroyed. "Sir, Earth Defense Command is requesting immediate assistance," Dong-ho reported. "The planet's shields are failing." Kyung-min closed his eyes for a moment. He had spent 30 years in the human military, rising through the ranks during peacetime. He had trained for this moment, but nothing could have prepared him for the reality of watching his homeworld being attacked. "Launch all fighters," he ordered. "Every ship we have. We'll buy the evacuation fleets as much time as possible." The human fleet was small compared to the alien armada. Only 300 ships of various sizes, from tiny fighters to massive battleships. But they fought with the fury of people defending their home. Captain Sora's evacuation ships began launching from hidden ports around the moon. These ships were special. They had been built in secret over the past 20 years, equipped with experimental jump drives that could travel farther than any known technology. Most people didn't know these ships existed. The battle around Earth was fierce but short. Human pilots flew their fighters into impossible odds, ramming alien ships when their weapons ran out. The battleship Earth's Pride took on 20 alien cruisers at once, fighting until its hull melted from enemy fire. "Admiral, we're receiving a transmission from the alien fleet," Dong-ho announced. "Put it through," Kyung-min said. The main screen filled with the image of a Vorthak commander. The alien looked like a giant lizard standing upright, with dark green scales and yellow eyes. When it spoke, its voice was like rocks grinding together. "Humans of Earth," the alien commander said. "I am War Commander Thaxis of the Vorthak Empire. Your resistance is useless. Surrender now, and some of you may live as slaves. Continue fighting and we will kill every human in this system." Kyung-min stepped forward. "This is Admiral Kyung-min of the Human Defense Force. We will never surrender to you. Earth will fight until the last human falls." The alien commander made a sound that might have been laughter. "Then you will all die today, human. Your species will be nothing but a memory." The transmission ended and the alien attack intensified. More green beams struck Earth's surface. Cities burned. The planet's blue oceans began to turn black from the orbital bombardment. "Captain Sora, how many ships have evacuated?" Kyung-min asked urgently. 70 ships have jumped to safety, sir. We're loading the last group now. We need 10 more minutes." "You have 5, Kyung-min replied, watching as alien ships broke through the human defensive line. "After that, we activate Protocol 7. Protocol 7 was the most secret plan in human history. Only a few dozen people knew about it. For 20 years, humans had been secretly building colonies in distant parts of the galaxy. These colonies were completely hidden, with technology that made them invisible to alien sensors. The plan was simple, but terrible. If Earth fell, the galaxy would believe that humanity was extinct. The hidden colonies would survive and grow strong in secret. Then, when the time was right, they would strike back. "Sir, the last evacuation ship is away," Sora reported. "All ships have jumped to the rally points." Kyung-min took a deep breath. "Begin Protocol 7 transmission." Dr. Hana, the chief scientist who had designed the hidden colonies, began typing at her console. She activated a special signal that would be sent to every corner of the galaxy. The signal would tell the story of Earth's final moments. of humanity's brave last stand and total destruction. But it would be a lie. The signal would hide the truth, that millions of humans had escaped to secret worlds, carrying with them the knowledge and anger needed to one day reclaim their home. Transmission sent, Admiral. Dr. Hanna reported. The galaxy will believe Earth died fighting and that no humans survived. The alien bombardment continued. Earth's cities crumbled. Its forests burned. The blue marble that had been humanity's home for thousands of years was being destroyed. All remaining human ships, this is Admiral Kyung-min. He broadcast on all frequencies. It has been an honor to serve with you. Fight well, die hard. Earth will remember. The last human ships charged into the alien fleet. They fought with desperate courage, knowing they would not survive. But their sacrifice gave the evacuation fleets time to escape to safety. As the battle ended, War Commander Thaxis looked at the burning planet below. Another world conquered, he said to his officers. The humans fought well for such a weak species. But now they are extinct, like so many others. The alien commander had no idea that his greatest mistake was believing humanity was defeated. In the hidden colonies scattered across distant stars, millions of humans were already planning their revenge. They would wait. They would grow strong. And one day they would return to reclaim Earth. The Vorthak Empire celebrated their victory, never knowing that humanity's greatest war was just beginning. 5 years had passed since Earth burned. The galaxy believed humanity was extinct, just another species crushed under the Vorthak Empire's advance. War Commander Thaxis had been promoted for his complete victory over the humans, and now ruled over dozens of conquered worlds. But deep in the Kepler void, a region of space so empty that no alien had ever bothered to explore it, something remarkable was happening, hidden among the scattered asteroids and dark matter clouds. The human colonies were growing. Engineer Wu Jin floated in zero gravity outside Construction Platform 7, watching as robotic workers assembled another warship. This ship was unlike anything humans had built before Earth's fall. It was sleek and black, designed to be invisible to enemy sensors. How many ships this month, Wu Jin? Asked his assistant Youngsu through the communication link. 43 completed, with 15 more in final assembly, Wu Jin replied, checking his tablet. We're ahead of schedule. The hidden shipyards were massive. Built inside hollowed-out asteroids, they could construct hundreds of ships without being detected. The asteroids looked empty from the outside, but inside they buzzed with activity. Thousands of human workers and advanced robots worked around the clock. On Colony World Alpha 7, pilot Jiwoo was training the new generation of human fighters. These young men and women had grown up hearing stories of Earth's destruction. They burned with anger and the desire for revenge. Remember, Jiwoo told her students as they climbed into their fighters. The aliens think we're all dead. That's our greatest weapon. They won't see us coming until it's too late. The training fighters were equipped with new stealth systems that Dr. Hana had developed. The technology was years ahead of anything the aliens possessed. It bent light and energy around the ships, making them nearly invisible. Jiwoo to all pilots, she announced. Today we practice the Phantom Strike formation. Hit hard, hit fast, and vanish before the enemy knows what happened. The young pilots launched their fighters with skill that would have impressed veteran alien commanders. They had been training for this war their entire lives. Each one could pilot a starfighter better than most humans ever could. Meanwhile, on the planet Vorthak Prime, intelligence operative Hyejin was living a dangerous double life. She had spent 3 years building a false identity as a trader from a distant world. The aliens never suspected that the quiet merchant who sold rare metals was actually a human spy. Hyejin sat in a cantina, listening to Vorthak officers boast about their conquests. They spoke freely around her, never imagining that she understood every word they said. The humans were weaklings, one officer was saying. They barely lasted 3 days. Not like the Zentorans. Those warriors fought us for 6 months before we crushed them. Another officer laughed. The humans were so pathetic. Their ships fell apart the moment we fired on them. No wonder they went extinct so quickly. Hyejin sipped her drink and smiled slightly. If only they knew that human technology had advanced far beyond theirs in just 5 years. The pathetic human ships of the past were nothing compared to what was being built in the hidden colonies. She quietly activated a small recording device hidden in her sleeve. Every word these officers spoke would be transmitted to the human intelligence network. Their troop movements, supply lines, and military weaknesses were all valuable information. Back in the asteroid shipyards, Dr. Hana was putting the finishing touches on humanity's most deadly weapon. The quantum disruption cannon could tear apart alien ships at the molecular level. It was based on technology that humans had discovered while studying the physics of hyperspace travel. "The test results are perfect," she told General Minho as they watched a demonstration. A chunk of alien hull metal was placed in the test chamber. When the quantum beam hit it, the metal simply dissolved into atoms. "How many of these weapons can we produce?" Minho asked. "We can outfit every ship in the fleet within 6 months," Dr. Hana replied. "The aliens have never seen anything like this technology. Their shields and armor will be useless." General Minho nodded grimly. He had been a young captain when Earth fell. Now he commanded an army of millions all hungry for revenge. The hidden colonies had grown beyond anyone's expectations. What started as a desperate escape plan had become a massive military force. The human colonies had also made contact with other species that the Vorthak had conquered. Many aliens were ready to rebel against their oppressors. They just needed someone to show them that the Vorthak could be defeated. Engineer Wu Jin received a priority message from Admiral Kyung Min, who had been coordinating the resistance from his secret headquarters. The message was simple: begin Phase 2. It's time to let the galaxy know we're still alive. Across the hidden colonies, humans began preparing for war. The shipyards increased production. Training exercises became more intense. Weapons factories worked around the clock. The day of reckoning was approaching. Pilot Jiwoo gathered her best students for a special briefing. "You've trained hard for 5 years," she told them. "Now it's time to put that training to use. We're going to strike at Vorthak outposts and supply lines. We'll hit them where they least expect it." The young pilots looked excited and nervous. They had dreamed of this moment, the chance to avenge Earth and show the galaxy that humanity was far from extinct. Intelligence operative Hyojin received new orders through her secret communication device. She was to gather detailed information about Vorthak fleet movements in the core worlds. The human command needed to know where the enemy's strongest forces were positioned. As she prepared for her next mission, Hyojin thought about her family on Earth. They had died in the bombardment 5 years ago. Soon she would have her revenge against the aliens who had destroyed her world. Dr. Hana completed the final tests on the quantum weapons. The results exceeded all expectations. Not only could the weapons destroy enemy ships, but they could also disrupt alien communication systems and defense grids. The hidden human empire was ready. They had superior technology, highly trained forces, and most importantly, they had something the aliens had forgotten: the element of surprise. The galaxy believed humanity was extinct, but they were about to learn how wrong they were. War Commander Thaxis continued to rule his conquered territories, never suspecting that his greatest enemies were planning his downfall. The Vorthak Empire had grown lazy and confident. They controlled half the galaxy and believed nothing could threaten their power. But in the darkness between the stars, humanity was preparing to strike back. The war for Earth was about to begin, and this time the aliens would learn why humans were the most dangerous species in the galaxy. The first strike came without warning on a cold morning at Vorthak Outpost Delta 9. The alien guards were drinking their morning stimulants when the attack began. One moment they were complaining about boring patrol duty. The next moment their communication tower exploded in a ball of blue fire. Strike Team Leader Jae-sung watched through his scope as chaos erupted in the enemy compound. His team had been observing the outpost for 3 days, learning the aliens' routines and weaknesses. Now it was time to strike. "Ghost Team 1, this is Jae-sung," he whispered into his communicator. "Begin Phase Alpha. Remember, hit hard, get out clean, leave no trace." The human assault was perfectly coordinated. Lieutenant Nari had planted explosive charges on the outpost's power generators the night before. When they detonated, the entire base went dark. Emergency lights flickered on, casting eerie red shadows across the compound. Sergeant Byung-ho led his squad through the main gate as alien guards stumbled around in confusion. The Vorthak soldiers had never faced an enemy that could move so silently and strike so precisely. Their weapons fired wildly into the darkness, hitting nothing but empty air. "What's happening?" roared the outpost commander, a massive Vorthak warrior named Gorthak. "Who dares attack the Empire?" He would never get his answer. Jae-sung's sniper rifle fired once and the alien commander fell dead. The remaining guards panicked and began retreating to their ships, but Lieutenant Nari had already sabotaged their engines. The Vorthak were trapped. In less than 20 minutes, the entire outpost was destroyed. The human strike team vanished into the asteroid field, leaving behind only wreckage and confused alien survivors. The few Vorthak who lived to tell the tale could only babble about ghost soldiers who appeared from nowhere. 3 days later, a similar attack hit Supply Depot Gamma 12. Captain Tae Young commanded the stealth destroyer Silent Vengeance as it approached the alien facility. The ship was completely invisible to Vorthak sensors, a dark shadow moving through space. "Sir, we're in position," reported his navigation officer, Lieutenant Sujin. "The depot's shields are down for maintenance just like our intelligence said they would be." Tae Young smiled coldly. Intelligence operative Haijin had done her job perfectly. She had learned the depot's maintenance schedule and transmitted it to the human fleet. The aliens had no idea their security routines were being watched and recorded. "Lock quantum torpedoes on the main storage facility," Tae Young ordered. "Full spread. I want that supply dump completely destroyed." The Silent Vengeance fired its weapons in complete silence. The quantum torpedoes were invisible to alien sensors until the moment they struck their targets. The supply depot's main warehouse simply vanished, dissolved at the molecular level by the quantum energy. Alien cargo ships tried to flee, but they were too slow. The human destroyer's weapons cut through them like a knife through paper. Within minutes, the entire depot was gone, along with enough supplies to feed a Vorthak battle fleet for 6 months. "Sir, we're detecting incoming enemy reinforcements," Lieutenant Sujin reported. "A full squadron, 12 ships." "Time to leave," Tae Young said calmly. "Activate stealth mode and plot a course for the exit vector." The Silent Vengeance vanished from enemy sensors just as the Vorthak reinforcements arrived. The alien commanders found only wreckage and debris. Their supply depot had been destroyed by an enemy they couldn't see or track. News of the attack spread quickly through the Vorthak Empire. Outposts and supply lines throughout the sector reported similar mysterious attacks. The aliens were baffled. Their sensors showed no enemy ships, no alien fleets, nothing that could explain these devastating strikes. War Commander Thaxis studied the reports in his command center on the planet Vorthak Prime. The attacks were too coordinated to be random. Someone was waging a careful campaign against the Empire, but who? "Sir, we've lost contact with Mining Station Epsilon 7, reported his aide Sub-Commander Graxus. They sent a distress signal about ghost attackers, then went silent. Thaxis slammed his fist on the table. "These aren't ghosts. Someone is using advanced stealth technology to strike at our forces. But what species could have developed such weapons?" He pulled up a star map showing all the recent attacks. They formed a pattern, targeting the Empire's weakest points and most valuable resources. This wasn't random terrorism. It was military strategy at its finest. "Sir, what about the reports of human survivors?" Graxus asked carefully. "Some of our scouts claim to have detected ships using unknown technology." Thaxis roared in anger. "Impossible. We destroyed every human ship 5 years ago. Their planet burns to this day. The humans are extinct," but doubt was beginning to creep into his mind. The tactics being used against them seemed familiar somehow. The precision strikes, the hit-and-run attacks, the targeting of supply lines. It reminded him of how the humans had fought during Earth's final battle. Meanwhile, on Colony World Beta 3, Admiral Kyung-min was coordinating the resistance campaign from his secret command center. Holographic displays showed the locations of every Vorthak facility within 100 light-years. Red marks indicated targets that had already been destroyed. "Excellent work," he told his staff officers. "We've destroyed 15 major installations in just 2 weeks. The aliens are starting to panic." Commander Dong-ho, who had escaped from Luna Base during Earth's fall, pointed to the tactical display. "Sir, our scouts report that the Vorthak are reinforcing their border stations. They're pulling ships from the core worlds to guard their supply lines." "Perfect," Kyung-min replied. "Every ship they move to defend their outposts is one less ship protecting their important worlds." Continue the pressure. "I want them scared and confused." The human campaign was having exactly the effect Kyung-min had planned. The Vorthak Empire was vast, but it depended on constant supply shipments to maintain its forces. By attacking supply depots and communication relays, the humans were slowly strangling the alien war machine. Strike Team Leader Jae-sung received new orders for his next mission. His target was Communications Relay Station Alpha Prime, the main hub that coordinated Vorthak fleet movements in 3 entire sectors. Destroying it would blind the aliens for weeks. This one will be harder, he told his team as they studied the mission briefings. The station is heavily defended with 2 destroyer squadrons on patrol. Lieutenant Nari checked her explosive charges. We'll need a bigger distraction this time. I can overload their fusion reactors, but we'll need to get close. Sergeant Byung-ho nodded grimly. We've done impossible missions before. We'll find a way. Captain Tae-young prepared the Silent Vengeance for its most dangerous mission yet. They would attack a major Vorthak fleet base, destroying the ships that were being sent to hunt for the mysterious attackers. Sir, intelligence reports show at least 30 enemy ships at the target, Lieutenant Soo-jin warned. Then we'll have to be very careful, Tae-young replied. But we have advantages they don't know about. Our quantum weapons can disable their entire fleet before they know we're there. The human attacks continued with relentless precision. Each strike was carefully planned and flawlessly executed. The Vorthak Empire, which had conquered hundreds of worlds, was being systematically torn apart by an enemy they couldn't see or understand. But the humans knew this was just the beginning. The real war would start when they revealed their true identity to the galaxy. For now, they were content to let the aliens believe they were fighting ghosts. The truth would be far more terrifying. The moment of truth arrived above the fortress world of Korvath 9. For 3 months, the planet had served as the main staging ground for Vorthak forces hunting the mysterious ghost attackers. Today it would learn the terrifying truth about who their enemy really was. Admiral Kyung-min stood on the bridge of his flagship, the massive dreadnought Terra's Vengeance. Around him, 500 human warships hung in perfect formation, their stealth systems keeping them invisible to enemy sensors. This was the largest fleet humanity had ever assembled since Earth's fall. Sir, all ships report ready, Commander Dong-ho announced from his station. The quantum disruptors are charged and targeting systems are locked on enemy positions. Below them, Korvath 9 bristled with Vorthak military installations. Orbital defense platforms surrounded the planet like deadly jewels. 3 full battle fleets patrolled the system. Over 1,000 alien warships in total. It was exactly the kind of overwhelming force that had crushed Earth 5 years ago. But this time would be different. Captain So-ra, is the Earth's fury ready for the assault? Kyung-min asked. All weapon systems operational, Admiral, came So-ra's voice through the communication link. Her battleship was positioned at the fleet's spearhead, its quantum cannons aimed at the planet's main command center. We're ready to show these aliens what human engineering can do. Kyung-min took a deep breath. For 5 years he had planned for this moment. The hidden colonies had grown strong in secret, building an army that the galaxy had never seen. Now it was time to announce their return. All ships, this is Admiral Kyung-min, he broadcast on all frequencies. Today we reveal ourselves to the galaxy. Today we begin the reconquest of human space. But first, let our enemies know exactly who they've been fighting. He switched to the general communication channel that would reach every alien ship and facility in the system. When he spoke, his voice was cold as space itself. Attention, Vorthak forces. This is Admiral Kyung-min of the Human Defense Fleet. You believed our species was extinct. You celebrated our destruction. You were wrong. On the planet's surface, alien commanders stared at their communication screens in shock. The voice was speaking in perfect galactic standard, but the words were impossible. Humans were extinct. Everyone knew that. Sir, our sensors aren't detecting any ships, reported a Vorthak technician to General Mortax, the planet's military commander. But the transmission is coming from directly above us. Scan again. Mortax roared. Use every sensor we have. No one can hide a fleet from our detection systems. Above them, Admiral Kyung-min continued his message. For 5 years, you've been fighting the survivors of Earth. We've been watching you, learning your weaknesses, growing stronger while you grew complacent. He paused, letting the words sink in. Throughout the Vorthak Empire, communication centers were frantically trying to locate the source of the transmission. Military commanders were demanding explanations from their sensor operators. Now you will face the consequences of destroying our world, Kyung-min said. We are humanity. We survived. And now you pay. At his signal, every human ship in the fleet deactivated its stealth systems simultaneously. 500 warships appeared on alien sensors at the same instant, materializing like phantoms becoming solid. The Vorthak forces had never seen anything like it. The psychological impact was devastating. For months, Vorthak soldiers had been terrorized by invisible attackers. Now they faced the reality that their ghost enemies were the very species they thought they had exterminated. The humans weren't just alive, they had returned with a vengeance. "Impossible," whispered General Mortax, staring at his tactical display. The human fleet was massive, larger than any force the Vorthak had assembled in decades. Worse, the ship designs were completely unknown. These weren't the primitive vessels that had defended Earth. This was something new and terrifying. "Sir, the enemy fleet is moving into attack formation," his tactical officer reported. "All ships are powering weapons. But sir, our sensors can't identify their weapon signatures. The energy readings are unlike anything in our databases." Captain Sora smiled grimly as she watched the alien fleet scramble to respond to their sudden appearance. The Vorthak ships were moving with panic rather than precision. Years of easy conquest had made them soft. "Fire when ready," she ordered her weapons officer. "Target their command ship first. Let's show them what quantum cannons can do." The Earth's Fury fired its main guns, and the effect was spectacular. The quantum energy beam struck the Vorthak flagship, and the massive alien vessel simply disintegrated. It didn't explode. It fell apart at the molecular level, its atoms scattered into space. Throughout the human fleet, similar weapons opened fire. The Vorthak forces had never faced quantum disruptor technology. Their shields were useless. Their armor provided no protection. Ship after ship vanished into clouds of dispersed matter. "What's happening to our fleet?" General Mortax demanded, watching his forces disappear on the tactical display. "How are they destroying our ship so completely?" His communications officer was pale with fear. "Sir, we're receiving surrender requests from 17 different ships. The crews are abandoning their posts. The battle was becoming a rout. Vorthak ships that had conquered dozens of worlds were fleeing in terror from weapons they couldn't understand. The few that tried to fight back found their weapons ineffective against human shield technology. Colonel Sang Wu led the ground invasion forces aboard their assault ships. His target was the planet's main military complex, where thousands of Vorthak officers were coordinating the Empire's expansion into neighboring sectors. "Remember," he told his troops over the communication system, "we're not here just to win a battle. We're here to send a message to every alien in the galaxy. Humanity is back, and we're not the same species that lost Earth." The assault ships broke through the planet's atmosphere, their quantum shields absorbing the defensive fire from surface batteries. Vorthak ground forces had never faced human military technology this advanced. Their plasma weapons barely scratched the assault ship's armor. Major Yu Jin was already working on the psychological warfare aspect of the invasion. She had prepared special broadcasts that would be transmitted across the entire Vorthak communication network. "This is Major Yu Jin of the Human Psychological Warfare Division," she announced on all frequencies. "Your leaders told you that humanity was extinct. They lied. We have returned, and we are stronger than ever. Surrender now and live. Continue fighting, and face the same fate as your homeworld will soon experience." The message was transmitted in 17 different alien languages, reaching every corner of the Vorthak Empire. On hundreds of worlds, alien populations heard the terrifying news. The humans were alive, and they were winning. War Commander Thaxus received the news at his headquarters on Vorthak Prime. The report seemed impossible. A human fleet had appeared from nowhere and was destroying his forces at Korvath 9. Ships that had taken decades to build were being eliminated in minutes. "Sir, we're receiving similar reports from 12 other systems," his aide reported nervously. "Human fleets are attacking our installations throughout the sector. They're using weapons and technology we've never seen before." Thaxus felt something he hadn't experienced in years. Fear. The humans weren't just alive, they had become something far more dangerous than the species that had defended Earth. They had used the 5 years since their supposed extinction to become a military force unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. The battle above Korvath 9 ended in complete human victory. The Vorthak fleet was destroyed, their planetary defenses silenced, and their ground forces surrendering in massive numbers. Most importantly, the galaxy now knew the truth. Humanity had returned, and they were no longer the peaceful species that had once offered friendship to their neighbors. Admiral Kyung Min's message spread across the galaxy faster than light, carried by hyperspace communication networks to every civilized world. The species that the Vorthak had crushed were learning that their oppressors faced a new enemy, one that had been thought extinct, but had returned stronger than ever. The real war was just beginning. The final battle for Earth began at dawn on a Tuesday. Admiral Kyung-min stood on the bridge of the Terra's Wrath, the most powerful warship ever built by human hands. Around him stretched the largest fleet in human history, over 2,000 ships that had traveled from every hidden colony across the galaxy. "Sir, we're approaching the Sol system," Commander Dong-ho reported. "Long-range sensors show heavy Vorthak fortifications around Earth. They've turned our homeworld into a fortress." Kyung-min stared at the tactical display showing his home system. Earth was barely recognizable. The blue marble of his childhood was now a brown, scarred world surrounded by massive alien battle stations. The moon had been turned into a giant weapons platform, its surface covered with defensive cannons. "How many enemy ships?" he asked quietly. 3,000 confirmed, sir," Dong-ho replied. "Maybe more hiding behind the planetary shields. They've had 5 years to prepare for our return. They'll need a lot more than 3,000 ships," Kyung-min said coldly. "Signal the fleet. All ships prepare for Operation Homecoming." Throughout the human fleet, crews made final preparations for battle. These men and women had trained their entire lives for this moment.
Many had been born on the hidden colonies, raised on stories of the beautiful blue world their parents had fled.
Today they would see Earth for the first time. Captain Sora commanded the assault group aboard the Earth's Fury. Her ship had been rebuilt and upgraded with the most advanced quantum weapons humanity could produce. Every beam that fired from her cannons could destroy a Vorthak cruiser in seconds. "Ma'am, we're receiving a transmission from the enemy fleet," her communications officer reported. "Put it through," Sora ordered. The screen filled with the image of War Commander Thaxis himself. The alien leader looked older and more scarred than he had 5 years ago. His yellow eyes burned with hatred as he recognized the humans on the screen. "So the vermin returned to their nest," Thaxis snarled. "You think your new toys will help you reclaim this dead rock? We've spent 5 years preparing for your return. Earth will be your grave, just as it should have been before." Admiral Kyung-min's face appeared on the main communication channel. "Thaxis, you've had 5 years to enjoy our world. That time is over. Today, you learn why destroying Earth was the worst mistake your empire ever made." The alien commander laughed, a harsh sound like grinding metal. "Your planet is a poisoned wasteland now, human. We've strip-mined the continents and polluted the oceans. Even if you win today, you'll find nothing worth saving." "We'll see," Kyung-min replied. "All human ships, begin the attack. Show them what we've learned in 5 years of exile." The human fleet moved forward in perfect formation. Unlike the desperate, chaotic defense of Earth 5 years ago, this was a carefully orchestrated assault by the most advanced military force in the galaxy. Engineer Wu Jin monitored the quantum weapon systems from his command post aboard the Terra's Wrath. With the weapons he had spent 5 years perfecting were about to be tested in the biggest battle in human history, sir. "All quantum disruptors are operational," he reported to Admiral Kyung-min. "We have enough firepower to destroy their entire fleet twice over." The first phase of the battle began when the human vanguard reached the outer defensive perimeter. Vorthak battle stations opened fire with massive energy cannons, the same weapons that had burned Earth cities 5 years ago. But the human ships were protected by quantum shields that absorbed the alien fire harmlessly. "Return fire," Captain Sora ordered. "Target their main battle stations." The quantum weapons fired in perfect synchronization. 20 massive Vorthak fortresses simply vanished, dissolved into their component atoms by weapons the aliens couldn't comprehend. The defensive perimeter that had taken years to build was destroyed in minutes. War Commander Thaxis watched in horror as his strongest defenses crumbled. "How is this possible?" He roared at his tactical officers. "Our weapons aren't even scratching their shields." "Sir, their technology is completely unknown," his science officer replied fearfully. "Our energy signatures don't match anything in the galactic database. It's like they're using physics we don't understand." The human fleet pressed its advantage. Wave after wave of Vorthak ships charged forward, only to be eliminated by quantum fire. The aliens had superior numbers, but they might as well have been attacking with stone axes. Colonel Sang-woo led the planetary assault forces toward Earth's surface. His target was the main control center that the aliens had built where New York City once stood. From there, they controlled the terraforming equipment that was slowly poisoning Earth's atmosphere. "Sir, "We're detecting massive pollution throughout the atmosphere," his environmental officer reported. "Toxic gas levels are at critical danger." "That's why we brought the breathing equipment," Sang-woo replied grimly. "We knew they'd try to make the planet uninhabitable, but Dr. Hana's terraforming technology can fix anything they've done." Dr. Hana was already preparing the environmental restoration systems from her ship in orbit. The technology she had developed during the years of exile could clean Earth's atmosphere and restore its oceans to their original purity. But first they had to clear out the aliens. The battle in space was turning into a massacre. The Vorthak fleet that had once seemed invincible was being systematically destroyed by human weapons. Alien ships that tried to retreat found their escape routes blocked by human interceptors. "Sir, we're receiving surrender signals from 47 enemy ships," Commander Dong-ho reported. "Ignore them," Admiral Kyung-min ordered coldly. "They showed no mercy to Earth, we'll show none to them." War Commander Thaxis realized his position was hopeless. The human fleet was destroying his forces faster than he could deploy them. In desperation, he ordered his remaining ships to ram the human vessels, hoping to take some of them down. But even this final tactic failed. The human ships were too fast and maneuverable. They dodged the alien suicide attacks easily, then destroyed the damaged Vorthak vessels with precision fire. "Sir, the enemy flagship is trying to escape," Captain So-ra reported to Admiral Kyung-min. "Should we pursue?" "Let me handle Thaxis personally," Kyung-min replied. "I have 5 years of anger to work through." The Terra's wrath intercepted the alien commander's ship as it tried to flee toward the outer system. Kyung-min opened a communication channel to the desperate Vorthak leader. "Nowhere to run, Thaxis," he said calmly. "You destroyed my world. Now I destroy you." The final exchange lasted less than 30 seconds. The quantum weapons fired once and War Commander Thaxis vanished along with his ship. The alien leader who had celebrated humanity's extinction was nothing but scattered atoms drifting in space. With their commander dead and their fleet destroyed, the remaining Vorthak forces on Earth's surface surrendered quickly. Colonel Sang-woo's assault troops found thousands of alien workers who threw down their weapons and begged for mercy. "Sir, we've secured the main control center," he reported to Admiral Kyung-min. "The planetary pollution systems are under our control." Dr. Hana immediately began activating the terraforming equipment she had designed. Massive atmospheric processors descended from orbit, beginning the long process of cleaning Earth's poisoned air and water. It would take months, but Earth would be green and blue again. "Admiral, we're receiving a priority transmission," Commander Dong-ho announced. "It's from the Galactic Council." The screen filled with the images of a dozen alien leaders representing the major civilizations of the galaxy. They looked terrified. "Admiral Kyung-min," spoke the Council's chairman, a gray-skinned alien named Veltar. "We wish to formally surrender the Galactic Council to human authority. We also offer complete reparations for the destruction of Earth and the attempted extinction of your species." Kyung-min looked at the cowering alien leaders for a long moment. These were the same creatures who had stood by and watched while the Vorthak Empire crushed world after world. They had done nothing to stop the genocide, and now they feared they would be next. "The Galactic Council's surrender is accepted," he said finally. "But understand this, humanity will never again trust the word of alien leaders. We'll be watching you. All of you." The transmission ended, leaving the bridge in silence. Earth was free. The Vorthak Empire was destroyed. Humanity had not only survived, but had become the dominant military power in the galaxy. Commander Dong-ho looked out at the scarred planet below. "Sir, what happens now?" Admiral Kyung-min smiled for the first time in 5 years. "Now we rebuild. We make Earth beautiful again, and we make sure that no one ever underestimates human determination again." As the human fleet took up protective positions around their reclaimed homeworld, Dr. Hana's terraforming systems began their work. Green shoots were already beginning to grow in the poisoned soil. The oceans were slowly clearing. Earth would live again. The galaxy had learned a terrible lesson. Humanity could be defeated, but they could never be destroyed. They would always return stronger and more determined than before, and they would never forget those who had wronged them. The war was over. Humanity had won, and Earth was home again,